quite the impression since being traded to the Rays from St. Louis. Hitting .346, belting 7 home runs, and driving in 20 in his 35 games in a Rays uniform. Today, Pham and the Rays wrap up a 4-game set versus Aaron Judge and the Yankees. This afternoon, the Rays at Tropicana Field continuing the final homestand of the year. They'll be wrapping up this series against the New York Yankees. Hi again, everyone. Welcome to an afternoon of Rays baseball with Brian Anderson, Dwayne Stats. Great to have you aboard. Well, the Rays right down the middle in the season series with New York. They won 9 and lost 9. What a finish last night. Rays hanging on for an 8-7 victory. And again, right in the middle of all of that was Tommy Pham. He's on base in every game the Rays play, at least the last 28.
Yeah, listen, the nickname has to be No Drama, too, because he gets a lot of his work done early in ball games. But Tommy Pham, over the last 28 games that he has been in, first of all, he's got the on-base streak going. He's hit safely in 27 of the 28. In fact, 12 of them have been multi-hit efforts. And look at the numbers, a .398 average. How about an on-base percentage of .484? Look at that OPS. 7 home runs, 6 doubles, 5 triples, 19 driven in. I'll tell you something, he's hitting the ball hard, playing with a ton of energy, doing a lot of great things for the Rays offensively. CC Sabathia on the other side, his 18th major league season, and here he goes. 28 starts, a record of 8-7 ERA, a very good 3.77, but he will be challenged this afternoon. We'll get into it during the game, but the way that Kevin Cash has laid out his lineup, lefty-righty, 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 constantly changing the sight lines of Sabathia, it'll be a challenge for him here today.
Well, the lineup will not have Kevin Kiermaier in it. He is injured and done for the year over the last 3 or 4 games now. It has been a frustrating go for Kevin Kiermaier, yet he remains optimistic with an eye toward next year.
of the series against the New York Yankees. Well, 2018 has been quite the test for outfielder Kevin Kiermaier. He has been plagued with injuries, one after the other, all season long. And first it was that thumb injury when he was sliding into a bag. There you see that right there, sliding into second. He missed 57 games because of that one. And then last night, he was hit by a pitch in his right foot in the box in the 4th inning. It ended up being a hairline fracture, ending his season a little bit early. And as you can imagine, Kiermaier is very disappointed with it being a season-ending injury.
Questioning myself if it was broken or not. I just figured it was bruised. It was a slider, and I've been hit in the foot before and never had anything like this happen. But sure enough, the X-ray showed a hairline fracture, and just an unfortunate way for me to end the season. But that's kind of my 2018 in a nutshell. I feel like everything that could have went wrong for me this year did. But with that being said, I didn't let any of my on-field struggles or injuries dictate who I am as a person. I'm always going to stay positive, and life is good. But what a way for this year to end.
Well, when we come back, it's Malik Smith in center field today. Jamie Schultz is the opener for Tampa Bay, and CC Sabathia, the southpaw, is on the hill for the Yankees. Game 4, the final meeting between these two teams in 2018, is coming right up. First pitch after the break.
Schultz on his way to the mound to open this one for the Rays against the New York Yankees. Rays on a pace for 90 wins. They're at 88 and 70 after last night's victory. They have this one left, and then the weekend series here at Tropicana Field against the Toronto Blue Jays. Let's take a quick look at the starting lineup for New York, presented by your Southern Ford dealers. Brett Gardner is going to lead it off, followed by Aaron Judge, and then Luke Voigt. Giancarlo Stanton in the cleanup spot, hitting in front of Neil Walker, and then Miguel Andujar. Gleyber Torres hits 7th. Austin Romine will catch and bat 8th. And Adeiny Echeverria is the shortstop batting ninth.
Well, welcome to the club. Jamie Schultz getting an opportunity here to open this one up for the Tampa Bay Rays. He's appeared in 21 games, all out of the bullpen. ERA of 4.55, 29 2/3 innings of work.
54th time the Rays will have used the opener this year, and Schultz making his debut in that role. So here's Gardner up in the leadoff spot this afternoon. He takes the first pitch, and that's a fastball away from him and on the corner for a strike.
You know, not enough left in the season to see, but going into the open role for Ryan Stanek and Diego Castillo, I think it has gone a long way in helping those two guys out.
The pitch wide. I think you're absolutely right. For one thing, I think it frees up their mind a little bit. You know, they don't have to get into games with men on base late, maybe game on the line in the 8th or 9th inning. They get to start even. And I think you're absolutely right. I would agree 100%. That's been a positive step for both those hard-throwing right-handers. And another right-hander out here with plenty of velocity getting his turn.
You know, and that's the thing. When you look at Jamie Schultz's numbers, okay, the ERA 4.55, a lot of walks. You know, the opponent average against him is just 162. So the stuff is there. It's can you consistently get it to good spots? And so you'd almost like to see this experiment with Jamie play out a little bit longer. Obviously, it's not going to. But the way that it helped those other two guys, you wonder if it has the same effect here with Schultz.
Yeah, only 16 hits allowed and just under 30 innings of work. But 15 walks to go with that.
And even more bad counts. You know, that many walks, obviously not a good thing.
And a cut and a miss right there on a breaking ball.
I think he foul tipped it and it bounced.
I think he did.
Because that was a nice sell job down there by Sucre of trying to throw it around the infield. Foul tick, it bounced, he gloves it. And then watch right there, no.
And
he gives the tip and the ground.
Vic Carapaza's not going for it. So it's still 1-2.
Sucre, look at him point. I want it out front. Like, that's not it. That's what you love. We've talked about that all season long, but Sucre, I mean, very demonstrative with that point. Like, we've got the breaking ball. Watch this. Breaking ball out here, bounce it. And then, yeah, no, that's not
quite. And a liner into right. That's a base hit, cut off by Gomez. Gardner's going to head into second, and he has a double. Well, the pitch up.
And that goes back to that's why he wanted it bounced. Well, with Aaron Judge coming to the plate here, let's look at the scouting report on him. And it's been a frustrating season as far as the injury goes. You know, he missed a lot of time with the chip fracture, went on the disabled list at the end of July, wasn't activated until September the 14th. However, since then, he is starting to settle back in. In his last 6 games, he has 26 plate appearances, and he has reached base safely in 12 of them. The batting eye coming back, 6 walks, and also the timing at the plate, 6 hits in 20 at-bats.
And the first pitch is a strike on the outside corner.
That's one positive here for this Yankee team. Judge starting to get back in the flow.
Yeah, you looked at some of their big hitters' averages in September. They've been very anemic. And Judge up to 219. And on the heels of all that he's done recently, it gives you an idea. He was down 140, 150, and now it's starting to swing the bat better.
Well, they thought that chip fracture was going to be, you know, a week or 2 before he started swinging a bat, and he'd be back rather quickly, and that just was not the case. And you're right, his numbers overall, they don't look very good, but they have come a long way from where they were a week ago.
Yeah, and you see Stanton at 159 there. 1 ball, 2 strikes. So a man at second. Two and two. And Judge has been a little different than the average power hitter. a guy with a big swing. With men in scoring position, he's been pretty consistent. It's pretty much reflected his overall average. And there's some who will argue that that's going to be the case anyway, given enough at bats. But you still see guys who have a difficult time with men in scoring position and other guys who seem to excel.
I think sometimes it has to do with approach, and other times it just has to do with being able to slow the moment down. You know, some guys are just in pressure situations slow things down better than others. That's just a fact, and that's really hard to quantify.
Oh, we'll figure out a way.
They're working on it right now.
Somebody will.
Oh, yeah.
2-2. Got it. Swing and a miss on the fastball up. The Judge is out of there.
That's a good pitch by Jamie Schultz, and he gets it away and up, and you see Judge, that front hip start to fly, still able to reach it. You can see the bat was, you know, plenty long enough, but you get it up and right over the swing, and you do that with good velocity.
Here's Luke Voigt. Voigt, coming over from St. Louis, has picked up a little bit of the offense for them. He's had a nice month since joining this team. And a turn, nothing doing back there at second base.
Well, if you were going to think about going here, you're not going to go with Judge at the plate, but with one out, trying to get to third with less than two. That's why the inside move by Schultz.
The pitch just missing a little low. A ball, no strikes.
You know, and Gardner's one of those guys too. I mean, he is a scrappy, heady ball player. Been around the league for a long time, a lot of experience, knows when to pick his spots.
One and one to count now on that foul ball.
Let's take a quick look at the Rays defense, brought to you by Golden Diamond Source. And in that outfield left to right, we've got Tommy Pham, Malik Smith, and Carlos Gomez. And across the infield third to first, we've got Joey Wendell, Willie Adames, Brandon Lau, and Jake Bowers, with Jesus Sucre behind the plate.
Two balls and a strike. Voigt came over from St. Louis at the very end of July. Most of his production has come in September. 11 home runs with the Yankees, and 7 of those in September. It's out of play down the right side.
Yeah, I don't think that New York fans in general were thinking very much of that trade that brought in Luke Voigt, but boy, they have fallen in love with him, and it hasn't taken them too long.
All it takes is a few home runs.
You know what? And think about it. What you were talking about before with Stanton, Judge just coming back, and Sanchez all struggling. This guy steps to the forefront, and he pops a few of those out of the ballpark, and all of a sudden he is beloved.
Well, the full count to Voigt. Boy, it's been a difficult run for Bird. I'll tell you, they had high hopes for him, and it might still work out, but boy, he's had to overcome injuries, trying to get regular playing time, and it just had not worked to this point.
I think the most concerning thing for the Yankees is that when he was able to put together long stretches of regular playing time, it still wasn't coming around like he would have hoped, like the team would have hoped, and the season numbers obviously reflect that.
3-2 pitch again. And did he go? Rays want the appeal. He did not. That's a walk. So we'll be men at first and second. Here's the check. Strong enough to hold. So a couple men on here for Schultz, and a visit from Sucre. Giancarlo Stanton will be the hitter. Stanton 8th in the league in home runs with 35. 2 in September to go with the 159 average. And he tracks that pitch too low. Schultz behind him. Balls, no strikes.
Well, more strikes than balls, but not by much. Already with the one walk, and we talk about the walk and how hurtful that can be to a pitcher, but it's also, if you have that many walks, you put yourself in bad counts, and you got another one here.
Now a strike. It's 2-1.
3 straight sliders, and he finally caught the bottom of the zone. Obviously being careful here with Stanton for obvious reasons.
And he misses with a fastball a little bit wide. Not much, but he's been struggling to find the zone.
See, that's the thing. You know, if you're a guy that has been around the zone early on, you may get that call because it was close enough to call. But if you've been picking, coming off just walking a guy, a lot of times you don't get that benefit of the doubt.
And there is ball 4. And so the bases are going to be loaded. And to that point, he has behind the plate the good young umpire, Vic Carapazza. But if you show him you can consistently throw strikes, he'll get into that program with you. But if you don't, then it's not likely you're going to get a borderline call.
Yeah, and that's more old school style, you know, of umpiring.
Yep.
Where, listen, you prove to me, and we can work together here. And because, listen, in the course of an outing, you are going to have at minimum a handful of borderline pitches. If you're a strike thrower working quickly and pounding the zone, you're going to get most of those. Yep. If you're not, the guy's going to say, hey, listen, you haven't earned them. You haven't earned the borderline strike.
Carapazza up since 2010. In fact, he made his debut here at the Trop in a game between the Rays and the Yankees. In 2010, joined the staff full-time in 2013 and has developed a very positive reputation. Well, the bases are loaded. Now Neil Walker, switch hitting third baseman today. He's played second and first and third. That pitch is a strike. Walker hit the home run in the first inning of last night's game. Saw Austin Pruitt up in the Rays bullpen now. Cut and a miss on the slider, and it's an 0-2 count here on Walker.
How big would the strikeout be here?
It's exactly what he needs outside of a double play ball. "27 pitches with the bases loaded, 1 out. 2 strikes the count on Walker. And this one gets by Sucre, and down from third comes Gardner. And New York picks up the first run of the game. The other runners move up, so 2 men in scoring position. The wild pitch allowing Gardner to score.
Well, you can see right here, it's curveball down, and right there, Sucre expecting that ball to come up. He left the bottom half of that 5-hole exposed, and that baseball found it.
Now Voigt's at third. Stanton's on second. The foul ball. Breaking ball that appeared to be staying out off the plate, but Walker went for it with a 1-2 count and fouled it. And a cut to miss. Fastball in.
Boy, he got Neil Walker to open up his zone down, away, and in.
Yep.
You know, strike one or strike two was a slider below the zone. That breaking ball you were talking about off the plate away, and then the fastball that was almost ended up behind him.
So 2 gone. Schultz tries to minimize the damage here. A run is in. Here's Miguel Andujar. And he looks at a fastball, 96. That's a strike. Andujar 10th in the league in hitting at .295. 26 homers, 87 runs batted in. And this one lifted down the line toward the corner, and that is gone. Right down the line. A 3-run home run and a 4-run first for New York. '27th home run of the year for Andujar gives him 90 runs batted in.
Dwayne, watch as the hips open up. Watch the hands get pulled close to the body. He pulls the hands through there and gets the barrel and is able to hit that ball true down the line. If you get around this pitch, you're going to hook it foul. But he gets inside of it, and that ball has a more true trajectory. As you can see, not much hooking action at all. And he drops it just over the wall, just inside the pole.
And the pitching change coming. Call to the bullpen brought to you by the Florida Lottery. Monopoly jackpot scratch off from the Florida Lottery. A new spin on a classic with a top prize of $5 million. So unleash the excitement anytime. Florida Lottery, it's your ticket. Claim it. Must be 18 or older to play. Play responsibly. Schultz out of the game. Austin Pruitt in, and a big cut and a miss by Gleyber Torres. Strike one. One. So Austin Pruitt dividing the year between the Rays and the Durham Bulls. It's a 2-1 count. The Rays using 8 pitchers in last night's game. It's a liner into right, will be caught by Gomez, and that retires the side. But 4 runs scored, 3 on the Andujar home run. to do. The lineup presented by your Southern Ford dealer. Malik Smith the lead off, then the red hot Tommy Pham. Joey Wendell hits third, plays third. The DH is C.J. Crone. Brandon Lau in there at second. Number 6 hitter is Willie Adames. Batting in front of Jake Bowers. Next comes Carlos Gomez. Jesus Sucre will bat ninth.
Well, taking the mound this afternoon, I should say, for the 29th time, CC Sabathia with a record of 8-7, 3.77 earned run average, 135 strikeouts in 148 innings.
38 years old, 32 decisions with the Rays through the years. He is 16-16. Here's Malik Smith. Takes a strike. Malik's at 293, dropping under 300 with a 1-for-17 stretch. Foul ball, 0-2.
Well, what we were talking about too, about the way that he's going to be challenged, Sabathia, with the Rays lineup. You look down the lineup and it goes lefty, righty, lefty, righty, lefty, righty, lefty, righty, and then double up with the righty with Sucre. And what that forces a finesse pitcher to do, in this case the lefty Sabathia, you're constantly changing your sight lines because you're trying to establish down and away, and that can be difficult when it's every other hitter.
Lifted toward the corner and left. Stanton over there and reaching just as he got to the foul line, making the catch.
Let's take a look at that New York defense and see how it's going to line up. Brought to you by Golden Diamond Source. In the outfield left to right, we've got Stanton, Gardner, and Judge. And across that infield third to first, Walker, Echeverria, Torres, and Voit with Austin Romine behind the plate.
Well, it'd be hard to be much hotter than Tommy Pham has been all month. He's reached base in 28 consecutive games, hitting in 27 of those. And the pitch is a strike, a breaking ball down around the knees. This has been an extraordinary run for Tommy Pham. Look at that, 398 during that stretch.
Yeah, and the on base is approaching 500. You know, so not only is he hitting, but he's willing to take his walks too. A lot of extra base hits, scoring runs, driving them in, a lot of damage early in ball games.
1-2. It's almost as if he finishes a game last night and he just can't wait to start the next game, because that first time up, I mean, how many times has he managed to get on base just to start a game? And he's out on strikes this time. So Sabathia picks up his first strikeout.
And that's why we started calling him No Drama, because for a while there he had the hitting streak going. Yep. Then he finally took an 0-for-3 but drew a walk in that game. That's what kept the on-base streak going. But during that hitting streak, there was no 8th inning down to your last. It was second inning, first inning, maybe the second time up in the 4th. But I'll tell you, he's been a lot of fun to watch for a lot of reasons.
Joey Wendell taps it to the right side, a little bounder for Torres, and the flip to first. Fly ball, strikeout, to ground ball. 3 up, 3 down. We go to the second. Sun brought to you by WB Mason. Who but WB Mason, the official office supply company of the Tampa Bay Rays. And by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Austin Romine takes the first pitch, and that's in there for a strike. Romine hitting .244. And he's had a little rough stretch at the plate. Well, for a while, he really picked up the Yankees' catching duties. 10 home runs on the year. But right now, in September, he's hitting .071. There's one hit for the month, and that was a home run.
You know, and sometimes, you know, a good backup catcher is just that. He's a good backup catcher. You get him out there for too long a period of time and get a little bit overexposed. You know, teams can start to game plan for you, find the holes in the swing, and exploit them.
A 2-2 count.
But on the other side, you know, in short bursts, maybe you hook him up with a certain pitcher that they work together well. They can go out there, be productive, and really, really help a team.
Yeah, there's Sanchez. He entered last night's game hitting a little over 170 for the month. There's a strike call, and Romine caught looking. So Austin Pruitt picks up his first strikeout. One away in the second.
Well, Austin Pruitt has come in here, a couple of hitters, and has really picked up the pace and picked up pounding of his own. Good little dart there to end that at bat. And we've seen that from Austin Pruitt. He can get on some runs.
Echeverria is after the first pitch and fouls the fastball right back. Well, Jamie Schultz started, gave up 4 runs, 3 on the home run by Andujar. Fly ball lifted to right. It's Carlos Gomez making the catch. 2 up and 2 down. Well, the bases are empty for the leadoff man, Brett Gardner. Gardner opened the game with a double, his 20th of the year. And a ground ball right there for it. It's second allow. His throw. 1-2-3 against Pruitt. Bottom of the second coming. 4-0 New York. hitting with CC Sabathia on the mound. Time for our StatCast AI powered by AWS. And how about this? This is one of our favorite categories. Lowest meatball percentage.
Oh, no. No.
There you
No.
go. Sabathia is right there, only 5.4 meatballs, which means pitches thrown middle. There's a pitch far removed from a meatball, way inside there.
You have to warn me of those things. That has the potential just to really throw you off your game.
Wow, how about that?
That is an absolute statistic now.
Yeah.
Lowest meatball percentage.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's better than the alternative of what you call them.
There's a little pop-up. And Torres, who was shaded out there and already shallow center, makes the catch, and Crone is out.
I'm just glad that you explained to me meatball. Lowest meatball percentage. Okay, what is that? They had the little graphic that you explained. That's what you call middle, because that's not what we called middle.
Yeah.
We had a different term. And you wanted to avoid those two.
I did, yeah. Yeah.
Have I thrown you off now?
Well, they've just thrown that at us here. What do we have, 3+ games left?
Yes.
Yeah, maybe by next year they'll forget about it. There's a strike to Lau.
And the thing is, they've been coming hot and heavy here in the last couple of games.
They have.
Almost if there was a mandate.
Probably loading up. There was a certain number that was supposed to be in there. And so we're making sure we get them all in. One ball, one strike to count to Brandon Lau. Tapper by the mound, and this time it's Echeverria on the first base side of second, and the shortstop handles that. 2-0. Well, with 2 outs and the base is empty, Willie Adames up here. Maybe looking for a meatball here to give him something to drive. 10 home runs for Adames. He takes a strike. Only 2 for 6 against Sabathia this year. 1-1. Sabathia retiring the first 5 to face him. And a big cut and a miss on the pitch up.
That's going to be a big pitch for Sabathia in today's ball game, and that is the cutter, especially to the right-handed hitters. He's going to need that to work up in the zone. We saw him get Tommy Pham with it. That pitch right there to Willie Adames. There's another one right there. They're going to have to pound that in there to get some early outs and also to help him on the outside part of the plate with the changeup. Not a lot of straight fastballs to right-handed hitters.
Hey, sometimes middle is a cookie.
Yeah, that's still not what I'm thinking of. But you're right. I've heard that referred to a few times.
Oh, strike 3 called on the outside corner. 6 up, 6 down. We go to the third, 4-0 New York. Receive prize-winning scratch-off cards in exchange for donations to the Rays Baseball Foundation. You could win tickets to a 2019 home game or a jersey right off a player's back. Every card's a winner, so the more you donate, the more you win. For more info, visit raysbaseball.com/shirts. Aaron Judge chops it down to third, going after the first pitch, and Wendell throws a strike across the dive into Bowers. One away.
I'll tell you what, Austin Pruitt not messing around, coming in, pounding that zone, and you start to see the Yankees take notice. A lot of quick swings. And mighty efficient in his short period of work.
3 up, 3 down in the second, 8 pitches. He came on, quickly got it out to put an end to what was an unpleasant first for the Rays. Luke Voigt now up here in the third with 1 away, and the base is empty. There's a strike. All 4 runs charged to Schultz. And Pruitt has come in throwing strikes ahead of Voigt. 6 of 6 in first pitch strikes. That's the antithesis of the Rays opener today.
Well, it just gives you a leg up. It gives you the opportunity to do what you want to do. And right there, you could have picked up a 3-pitch strikeout looking. Good little slider there, down and away.
Popped foul. Out of play it goes. Stanton, the on deck man. That's going to be a base hit. Lau was shaded toward the middle and could not get back to what would have been his normal second base position in time to stop that one. And Voigt's on for the second time.
Yeah, that's frustrating. You know, those balls on the ground, you'd like to turn those into outs. And it's the breaking ball. The breaking ball stays up. That gives Voigt a chance to hit it hard. And then you combine that with the positioning. Just scoots it by him.
There's a strike. Stanton walked in the first and scored on the 3-run home run by Miguel Andujar. One and one. Tap. That's a fair ball. Throw down to second. Oh, it's going to be a foul ball. Well, Sucre quickly out from back of the plate, grabbing that, hoping that it was going to be fair, and Carapazza on the call calls it foul.
Well, Sucre did the right thing. You know, make the play. Let the umpires stop it or call it off, but you go make the play. It's going to be close here. That ball up. Looks like it's, boy, oh boy. I mean, you obviously don't know how close that is to the third base line. This will give us a better angle. But Carapazza is all over it, too. He had a great line of sight right up that third base line, and a very definitive call.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Yeah, that's not always an easy call by an umpire. He's got the catcher to deal with. He could be screened by him. But it appeared to be in the batter's box there in foul territory. Now full count, 3-2. Walker's on deck. . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . go for ball 4. So after the base hit, now the walk. 2 on, 1 out. MLB at Bat is your #1 Rays app. Customize your experience to catch every moment. Get Rays home screen icons and features such as MLB.TV, game of the day, pitch tracking, in-game highlights, news, stats, a lot more. Download MLB at Bat today. There's Neil Walker. Pruitt facing Walker for the first time today. Ground ball down to first. Bowers makes the play. Voigt to third. Stanton follows into second. 2 outs with 2 men in scoring position for Miguel Andujar, who accounted for 3 of the 4 runs in the first inning. The first run scored on a wild pitch uncorked by Schultz. Andujar getting to 90 runs batted in, but his 27th home run of the year in the first inning. And a strike on the outside corner. You were impressed with what he did on that pitch in.
I was impressed with the way he flew his hips open and kept his hands close to the body and stayed inside that baseball on that pitch. It was, first of all, it's an off-speed pitch, and it was in and maybe a little bit in off the plate. I think you see most guys, if they barrel that baseball, there's no way they keep it fair. They end up hooking that thing down the line. But Andujar, the hips flew open, the hands stayed close, and he just kind of pushed that ball right down the left field line, and it stayed true. It didn't have much hooking action at all.
Pruitt 1-1 with him right now. Ground ball short. A nice hop for Adames. Throw to first. 2 men left. We go to the bottom of the third. 4-0 New York. Game. CC Sabathia on the hill. The Florida Lottery jackpot stat page on him. 18th season in the major leagues with 245 wins. 6-time All-Star and the 2007 American League Cy Young Award winner. And the first pitch, Jake Bowers takes a strike.
I love the bottom, the last stat on there. 14 seasons of at least 10 wins. So you talk about consistency. Double-digit wins 14 times. Got a chance. Let's see, does he have a chance? He does not have a chance. He may get to 9, but that would probably be it, unless he had a relief appearance in the last game of the season. But
well, he won 21 games with the Yankees in 2010, and very easily could have had 3 or 4 20-win seasons. Fly ball not too deep to right, and Judge is there. Bauer's out number 1. He had a 19-win season before he left Cleveland. He was 19-7 with the Indians, and then in 09 with the Yankees was 19-8. Had that 21-win season we mentioned in 2010, and then won 19 games in 2011. So he very easily could have had 4 20-win seasons.
yeah, that's pretty incredible to put yourself that close and do it one time.
Hot shot, that's foul.
It's been fun for me because, you know, I had the opportunity, CC and I played together in 2003, and to see him as a young power lefty back then that was primarily fastball slider, really hadn't developed the changeup at that point, was more of a thrower than a true pitcher. You know, then he develops that changeup, and that's when he went to elite level, started winning Cy Youngs and, you know, the 19 games a year and all of that. And then all of a sudden, you know, as his career went on, the velocity starts to diminish, and now he's reinvented himself. Fastball, cutter, curveball, change, mix and match. Nothing overpowering.
Yep.
Watching that transformation over 18 major league seasons was, you know, pretty interesting to watch, because not everybody can do that.
And a swing and a miss. Gomez out on strikes. 3rd strikeout for Sabathia. Well, among active pitchers, he is the leader in innings pitched in his career. And he goes up. Just a little movement on that one to get Gomez.
That's been a big pitch for him. You know, you think that's very similar to the strikeout pitch to Tommy Pham. The cutter up and somewhat in. CC Sabathia is a frustrating at bat because he doesn't have any stuff, any one pitch that wows you at this point. And so you go back to the bench and you're like, guys, he's got nothing. Well, he's got nothing, but he's getting all of us out.
Yeah.
He knows how to work that nothing.
Yeah, he's got a little something. In on the hands of Sucre, and he pops him up. Echeverria takes care of that. 3 up, 3 down, go the Rays. We go to the 4th. 4-0 New York.
Smith has had a career season, hitting almost 300 all season long, and he ranks second in the American League with 37 stolen bases, and he attributes it to his consistent playing time. He said at the beginning of the season he had no idea how much playing time he was going to get. His goal was just to make the most of his opportunities, and he feels that he has to this point, but it's not just his performance at the plate that has made big strides. Manager Kevin Cash said the other day how much more impressive his defense has gotten as well. And BA, I mean, how well-rounded has Mallex Smith gotten here in 2018?
You know what? He has been fun to watch, and Dwayne, I know that you and I have talked about this. Fun to watch his game develop. Offensively, it really opened up when he started to use the left side of the field and not be so pull conscious, and so I think that really made a mark. And then defensively, I think it's just the added reps. You know, early on in the season, the defense was very inconsistent. Some of the routes that he took inconsistent, but the more playing time that he has gotten, that absolutely has been tightened up, and we've had a really a front row seat for it for 6 months.
Yeah, the development that we've seen take place here has been impressive on both sides of the baseball for sure. And he really, on the corner outfield spots, I think settled in very nicely. And the more he's been in center field, I think it's a matter of familiarity, being out there and just getting reps. And it's hard to beat that.
Yeah.
Just get the reps as often as you can.
You know what's interesting? It's the same in our business. You know, when you're breaking in, it's all about the reps. If you're getting a couple of games here and then off for a while and a couple of it's tough to get into a rhythm and feel good about what you're doing. It's really the same in a lot of different areas, but for sure, when you're talking about playing center field in the major leagues.
Yeah, and I think you get a real appreciation. If you play the corner outfield and then go to center, you know, you've got a lot of territory, a lot of different angles. You know, you figure on the corners, you know, if it's a left right-handed hitter, you know, the action you're going to get on a fly ball line drive out there. And it's covering all the angles in center.
Yeah, and the ball comes off the bat so many different ways. You get carry, you get knucklers. Got to have good instincts, very good baseball instincts to play that position well.
This one up off the mitt of Sucre. And Torres, who is single to open it, moves into second.
Sucre, maybe a little bit of a cross up here. It looked like he just swiped at this pitch, got up there late. And that ball right off the top of the catcher's mitt. And usually when you see this kind of meeting after a pitch like that, this is trying to get back on the same page. Something was a little off there. Kevin Cash wondering exactly what it was.
Yeah, you could tell by the expression on his face. What is going on?
Yeah, yeah. Well, you know, here's the thing. Runners at first. So you're still going with, you know, your first sign typically most of the time. And if he shakes, then you've got, you know, whatever. Usually you see the confusion with the runner out at second.
Romine fouls it away, out of play.
Or was it just, hey, I probably should have gotten there. I didn't, but I'm going to go out and have this meeting and make it look like your fault.
In which case, if you're the pitcher out there, you go, what are you doing here?
I think Kevin Cash trying to figure that all out.
Yeah. It's a foul ball back.
Well, that's why you were saying last night why you didn't like meetings. Because we'll never call a meeting.
Yeah.
And when meetings get called and we need to be a part of them, it's only because
it's not good news.
We're going to get, yeah, the finger points at us.
There's a ground ball, and it's going to go through the middle and into center. Torres will score. Pham over to make the pickup on it. Romine picks up only his second hit of the month, and he drives in a run with it. It's 5-0.
Well, he hit a ground ball over to that left side, too, where the Rays were kind of hedging their bets. And it found an opening. Another curveball. This one does not stay up, but Romine does a nice job of covering the plate. And look at that. Found the open area.
To Danny Echeverria. Pruitt still looking for the first out of the inning. The little tapper gets by Pruitt. Glove by Adames and no place to go by the time he was digging that out. Echeverria well on his way to a base hit, an infield hit for the New York shortstop. Brett Gardner, top of the order. There's a strike. Well, 3 straight hits. Ground ball. Wow, Adames won. First base not in time. Romine goes to third. Echeverria forced at second. That'll be the first out of the inning.
Well, what little chance the Rays had in turning that double play went awry right here. Everything needed to be perfect to even have a chance, but that ball kind of bobbles around in Lau's glove, and you're never going to get Gardner at that point. May not have gotten him anyway.
And now it's Aaron Judge. Cut and a miss. Late movement on that one for a strike. Little slider there from Austin Pruitt. So a 4-run first and another run in the fourth. Gardner reaching on the fielder's choice with Romine taking third. There goes Gardner. This one hit into center field. Malik Smith will make the catch. And there's a throw on its way to first, but it's wide. After the catch, Romine tags and scores. Judge drives in the run. His 65th run batted in. It's a 6-0 ball game.
Look at Aaron Judge in that dugout. That is a large man. My gosh. What is it, 6'7", 280?
Hard to miss, that's for sure.
Boy,
I'll tell you.
Man. Get that shot right there at him next to Ronald Torreyes.
Swing and a miss by Luke Voigt. Well, the Yankees cashing in on this opportunity, putting 2 more on the board. Keeping an eye on Gardner. 6 runs, 6 hits. Gardner takes off, stops, and now heads into second.
Well, you're trying to time it up there, and you get off to your start and realize that Pruitt hasn't moved yet, and you almost second guess yourself, like, oh, he's going to get me. Never saw him.
So a steal for Gardner, number 16. Into center field, Malik Smith could not come up with that ball. He hesitated, wasn't sure from the outset. So Gardner scores. Voigt winds up at second. And it's a 7-0 ball game.
Dwayne, I think that ball off the bat of Voigt had a ton of topspin. That's where the hesitation comes in. And then watch this thing just die. Well, that either was knuckling or had some topspin, but it had some funk to it. And Malik's just could not get there in time. That ball actually got turf before into the glove, but regardless, it squirts out.
So Voigt gets credit for a double and a run batted in. Stanton, he takes a strike. Stanton with 2 walks. Well, Voigt hitting third and Stanton hitting cleanup. Voigt's been on 3 times with a walk, single, and a double, and Stanton 2 plate appearances with 2 bases on balls. And the pitch just wide. It's 2-1. Cut and a miss, 2-2. And a cut and a miss by Stanton. He's out on strikes. We go to the bottom of the 4th, 7-0. This afternoon, American military personnel serving overseas watching this game on AFN, the American Forces Network. Welcome to those in countries around the world aboard naval ships at sea, and we thank you for your service. Alex Smith, top of the order, leading off the bottom of the fourth for the Rays against CC Sabathia. Alex lifted a fly ball down the left field line in the first inning, caught by Giancarlo Stanton. One. Andrew Kittredge up in the bullpen. On the outside corner, 1-2. Alex came into the game hitting over 300 against lefties. 323 down in the count this time around, and sends it into center. That will carry to Gardner. So 10 in a row retired by Sabathia to start this one. Now the StatCast AI powered by AWS. Here's Tommy Pham. The average velocity on the baseballs he's put into play, 92.9.
That sixth highest Major League Baseball, and we've seen him enough to know that that's true. He hits the ball squarely quite a bit.
Had a great run here in September. It's been a great addition coming over from St. Louis. It's a strike, 1-1. Felt that he got a little pull happy with the Cardinals. Hit the ball all over the place and hard, as we pointed out with that graphic. Two and one. Home runs, 7 with the Rays. 61 runs batted in on the year. And he's ahead in the count, 3-1. And a cut and a miss. Pitch up. And we go 3-2. By the way, is the 48th start Sabathia has made against the Rays. It's more than any other opponent he squared off against. He's 16-16, 0-2 last year against the Rays. But those are relatively low-scoring games, that he strikes out Pham for the second time, gets him on the pitch a little bit up right there. 2 up, 2 down in the fourth.
Yeah, very similar to the pitch that he got him with in the first at bat. This one just not as far in. That little cut fastball, this is middle of the plate up, and it just jumps the bat. Tommy Pham obviously frustrated. He's usually got a hit and run scored by now.
Joey Wendell, he takes a breaking ball in for a strike.
I'll tell you, Sabathia has been masterful this afternoon so far with his mix, with the change of speeds, with the change of locations. Never in one area too long.
And that will take it to 0-2.
Boy, you have his kind of experience level, understanding what hitters are trying to do. And then the ability to command his pitches at different speeds and force you to defend the entire strike zone. But when he's on like this, it's no wonder he's just sawing right through the order.
Ground ball, and that's going to go into left through the open side.
That Dwayne, you thank me for that one. I knew if I waxed poetic with how untouchable Sabathia was, that a hit was coming up right away. That has been something that's been pretty consistent all year. And here it is, a fastball up, and Joey just short to it and slaps it the other way where there is no defense.
And you don't know the comfort level for the entire crew to know that they can always count on you.
They can. All I got to do is just go oppo. Just go oppo. What do you guys need? You guys need this? I'll go this way. And
Wendell picks up the base hit. First hit for the Rays. And Crone takes a pitch upstairs. Wendell finishing this season strong. He was hitting over 320 in September, in the top 10 in the American League in hitting. One and one here to Crone.
You know, we were on him, in on him early. But I still think that as much as we liked him, at least for me, as much as I liked him, he exceeded even my expectations.
Yeah, and I really believe anyone, if you're going to be honest about it, would have to say that. I mean, you saw, number one, the great effort. He applied himself, worked hard, recognized the talent he had. And so you figured he could be a positive addition to this team, but I think he has outperformed what almost anyone would have projected. You know, he's getting some pretty good reviews from his former teammates out in Oakland. You know, they've stepped up and talking about how much they liked him out there as a teammate and his work ethic, and he just carried that right on into a Rays uniform and getting an opportunity, getting a chance. Kevin Cash early on in spring training was talking about Wendell. So he was right on the money with that assessment from the early days of spring training.
It doesn't take long for you to get a positive first impression of Joey Wendell. Just the way he carries himself, the kind of guy he is, engaging, quiet, hardworking, never going to be a problem guy. Those things, you know, managers pay attention to that stuff. That catches their eye pretty quick.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about it.
That's right.
It's one less problem that you don't have.
Which is why you're not a coach, you're a manager.
Swing and a miss. Thrown out on strikes. 5 strikeouts on the day for Sabathia. Your Southern Chevy dealers. By Eldorado Furniture, a different kind of furniture store for over 50 years. And by your local Ford dealers. Wrap-up game of this series with New York. Andrew Kittredge, pitcher number 3. Schultz, Pruitt, the first 2. Schultz gave up 4, Pruitt 3. There's Walker, and the pitch is a strike. Walker is struck out and grounded out. Oh, 2. One ball, 2 strikes. Rays with the shift on for Walker. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Well, the magic number to lock up home field advantage in the wild card for the Yankees is 2. And Walker is out on strikes. It's possible the Yankees and the A's could finish with the same record. If they do, the Yankees would host the wild card based on intra-division records, that being the tiebreaker. Here's Andujar. And up the middle into center field. Has his second hit. Makes the turn and hangs on right there. And the Yankees gather hit number 8.
Ball hammered right back up the middle on the outer half of the plate. Nobody there. I'll be real interested. I still am intrigued by who the Yankees are going to run out there in the wild card game. Went and looked up some numbers. You know, J-Happ versus Oakland, J-Happ versus Boston. You know, Severino versus Oakland, Severino versus Boston. I think, you know, Masahiro Tanaka, you know, 2 rough starts back to back. I don't think he's in the running anymore. And so it's going to be interesting matchups. You know, you look at J-Happ. J-Happ since 2016 has had 10 starts against the Red Sox. He's 4-1 with a 1.66. Would you hold him out of that Oakland game? Run Severino out there with the idea of you go as long as you can be effective bullpen day behind him, and have J-Happ set up for that first game against Boston, because then he'd get to throw against him twice with those kind of numbers. Or do you just run J-Happ out there, who's had a good start against Oakland this year? I mean, it's really interesting.
Well, the bullpen really gives them that option.
Yes.
With a quick hook.
Yes, that does help for sure. But Severino's had 2 starts against the A's this year. Back in May, and this was before Oakland took off. Back in May, he went 6 innings, gave up an earned run, got a win. Now, here in September on the 5th against Oakland, he goes 2 2/3, 6 runs, 5 earned.
Yep.
That's not that long ago. Meanwhile, the day before that, J-Happ throws against Oakland, 6 innings, 2 hits, an earned run in a game that the Yankees eventually would win. So, and then you've got the J-Happ Boston splits. I mean, there is so much going on here. Obviously, you've got to win the one game. Boston doesn't even matter.
Wendell takes this to Lau, and Lau across to Bowers on the 5-4-3 double play off the bat of Torres. No runs a hit, nobody left. Bottom of the 5th coming, 7-0. Want to hear from you about the new ballpark. The proposed ballpark site, perfectly located for memorable pre and post game entertainment and events. So to learn more and provide your input into what you'd like to see before and after the game, visit ballparkreimagined.com. First pitch into Lau. He's jammed, and that's picked up on the right side by Walker, or by Torres, beg your pardon. And Lau's out of there.
You know what I'd like to see pre and post game, Dwayne, if I'm at the ballpark? I want to see an enthusiastic crowd with a lot of energy going in, and I want to see a lot of happy people leaving. That's what I want to see.
That's a great combo. Perfect combo. Let's write that down, send it in.
You know what? Ballpark Reimagined, a team that owns the home field.
Yes.
Which, by the way, the Rays have actually done a pretty good job this season in doing that.
Yes, they have. They're 49-28 at home. Adames taking the pitch inside, and well, they should. And I really believe that this year's addition of the team way more tailored to this ballpark than last year. Walker takes care of this throw from third, and Adames is out of there.
Well, it's a young team and an athletic team on the turf. You know, these guys are, their bodies are a little bit more resilient at this point in their career.
Well, most teams try to play to their home environment.
Yeah.
And why not?
Yep. And to that end, you've got the recovery room now built in, so these guys can stay younger longer.
Younger, fresher. Here's Bowers. Ooh, that pitch got him on the hand, and he's headed to first. So the Rays pick up their second base runner. Take a look at this. He off the right hand. So Bowers at first, hit by a pitch, and Carlos Gomez. Pitch inside, 1-0. Popped up on the right side, and Voigt makes that catch and foul ground. We're through 5, and New York leads it 7-0. Jamie Schultz. Miguel Andujar belted a 3-run home run, capping a 4-run first. Luke Voigt got into the act with his second hit of the day, reaching for the 3rd time on an RBI double in the 4th. The Yankees scored 3 in that frame, and CC Sabathia has held a race to just a base hit by Joey Wendell in the 4th inning. Well, it's been all New York here through the first 5. And Austin Romine will lead off the 6th. And this one behind Romine, and down he goes. Romine gets up with a look toward the mound, and Sucre intervening, and so's Vic Carapazza, who now Carapazza issuing a warning, and you saw Sabathia popping out. Boy, I'm not sure where all of that came from.
Not at all. I mean, first of all, they're trying to throw that fastball down and in. It is up behind Romine. You can understand him not liking that pitch. I'm just trying to search the memory back for a reason for it. All right, Sabathia in command here today and trying to be in command of that situation.
A strike, and it's 1-1.
Joe life in this building.
Yeah, all of a sudden. Ball, 2 strikes. I'm sure the point's not lost on Sucre. He leads off the bottom of the inning. Catcher and all that. So Romine is out on strikes. Echeverria on his way to the plate. Yeah, that was number 1. Who knows? You have to assume that got away, but in a precarious spot. And you can see the instant reaction there. Ground ball toward the middle and off the glove of Adames, picked up by Lau in shallow center. Echeverria with his second hit.
Just a chopper up the middle, 3-4 hops.
Brett Gardner. Gardner has scored a couple runs. He opened this game with a double. Scored the first of 4 in the first inning by New York. Ball, 1 strike. Fourth plate appearance for Gardner. After the double, he's grounded out, reached on a fielder's choice. In the 4th, picked up a stolen base. It's 2-2. The Yankees came into this series hoping to generate some offense. They've hit in the low 200s for the month of September. Wrap up this series and then head to Boston for 3. Close out the regular season at Fenway. Three balls, 2 strikes. 3-2. Into right center. Malix is going to chase this one all the way to the wall. Echeverria will score. And into third goes Gardner. And the Yankees pick up their 8th run. 7th triple of the year for Gardner.
Boy, Kittredge comes back with the breaking ball, and Gardner right here, slider down and in, and he just beats him to it. And boy, hits that ball hard because that came off the bat. Look how quickly that gets by Malix in center and all the way to the wall, and you knew what the result was going to be. And there he is on third.
10 New York hits. Infield comes up with Eric Judge at the plate. 1-0 count. A ball and a strike. Gardner, Judge, and Voit each with a run batted in. Romine has 1. And Duhar 3. The other run scored on a wild pitch. High fly ball back into right. Gomez is there to make the catch. Gardner tags. He will score. Second run batted in for Judge. Both coming on sacrifice flies. It's a 9-0 game here in the 6th inning. With the bases empty for Luke Voit. And Voit has been on 3 times. A walk, a single, a double. A run scored, a run batted in. One ball, no strikes. Two balls and nothing. One little slider. Shot back into deep left, and that ball is out of here.
And I'll bet you, Dwayne, at the end of the day they take a look at it, because that ball looked to be, if it was just over the top railing, it was just over. There's definitely some fans' hands that got involved, so I'm sure they're going to want to take a peek. Now let's take a look ourselves and see. Yeah, off the hand over the railing now.
13th home run for Voit. That makes it 10-0.
Had a chance.
A strike to Stanton.
When was the last time, if it even comes to mind, that we have been in a game where the Rays were getting waxed like this?
Yeah, I'd have to start to look back through the scorebook for this one, because nothing comes to mind that would resemble this. Fly ball center field. Malik Smith all the way to the wall, and that one is well gone. Stanton hits it a mile. Back-to-back home runs from Voit and Stanton. The Yankees put up 4 here in the 6th. Center cut for Stanton.
And this lineup getting hot here this afternoon. That would qualify. That would qualify.
Right there. So a 4-run 6th. Neil Walker sends a fly ball into left. Pham makes the catch. And as this game moves into the bottom of the 6th, it's 11-0 New York. There are 3 home runs today, 259 on the year. See Seattle with 264 in 1997, then the Rangers in 05 with 260. So the Yankees, now the first pitch, and Sucre is hit, and Sabathia has been ejected, and he motions to the Rays dugout as he leaves. So Sabathia came right out and hit Sucre, and Sabathia ejected.
Well, that answers the question on what Sabathia was going to do. You know, he was the guy that took the role too, coming out of the dugout. He wasn't real happy when the ball went up and in or behind Romine. But after hitting Sucre, no question on purpose, he went right into the Rays dugout after somebody.
So Sabathia ejected for intentionally hitting Sucre. How about that matchup there, Judge and Romo? Judge coming over from right field, or Rays bullpen suddenly at attention over there after Sucre was hit and Sabathia ejected.
Well, after he motioned into the Rays dugout, I'm surprised that there wasn't a little bit more of a reaction. I mean, it's one thing to hit a guy on purpose, which we all know that he did. I mean, there's no question. This is no doubt about it. But then as he comes off the mound, he says something. That's on you. That's for you is exactly what he said. And choice word after that.
And that's the editorial comment by Kevin Cash. So a new pitcher. And we'll be back in a moment. A little pause here with the Rays and the Yankees. Sabathia ejected along with Boone. We'll go back to the top of the inning, and there's that pitch behind Austin Romine. And Sabathia popped out of the dugout.
He made his mind up.
Yeah, right there.
Yep, his mind was made up that this was his course of action. And he went low, too. You know, on purpose, he went low, and then, boy,
and aside from that, pretty much a non-event.
And yeah.
Yep. So
I wish there was more of an event.
I get you.
That guy points into your dugout and tells you
I
that.
get you. Yep. Luis Sessa is going to take over
on your home field.
Yeah. So Sabathia sticks around for 5 innings. Leaves having allowed 1 hit with a lopsided score of 11-0. Alex Smith with a runner at first. And a 1-0 count on Malix here. It's going to be a strike. He tried to check. 1-1. It's a ball, 2 strikes. So 5 innings, a hit allowed by Sabathia. No walks, 5 strikeouts. Alex fouls it out of play. Well, a 55 pitch outing for Sabathia, and then he hit Sucre, was ejected for intentionally hitting him. Sucre at first.
Well, here's the one thing that we can say for sure is that after the reaction from CC Sabathia to the Rays dugout, you then can't claim after the ball game, ooh, just got away from me. I think he confirmed it was on purpose with yelling into the Rays dugout than what he yelled into the Rays dugout. You see these guys all the time, you know that they're coming up and in on a guy and hitting a guy on purpose, and they always talk about how it just got away from them. Can't do that now.
Echeverria to Torres 1. Head over to first, not in time. So it's a fielder's choice with Malik Smith reaching. Who had been up in the bullpen, throwing again. There's Tommy Pham. Want to know the count to Pham? 1-1. Pham behind in the count now. Came into this one with a 10-game hitting streak, reaching in 28 consecutive games. Well, 2 balls, 2 strikes. And a swing. Pham is out of there on strikes. Alex Smith moves up to second. So a move up to second by Malik Smith on a wild pitch. Joey Wendell. There's a strike. Been away, a ball and a strike. Close to Wendell. It's 2-1. The slider breaking down and in, and Wendell's with a count of 2 balls, 2 strikes on that swing and miss. And a cut to miss. So Wendell out on strikes on the throw down to first to complete it. We're going to head into the 7th, 11-0 New York. With 4 in the first, 3 in the 4th, and 4 in the 6th. And tomorrow on Rays Live, pregame show presented by your local Honda dealer. It all begins at 6:30, and Michelle Margot will be sampling exciting new food options coming to the Trop for 2019. It all begins at 6:30 tomorrow.
I know a number of people on the crew that are anxiously awaiting that piece.
Absolutely. Culinary exploits, and Michelle is right there to explain them and put them on display.
Perhaps experience them.
Yes,
you
I'm
never
sure
know.
She will.
A little sneak peek.
Yep.
That's quite the tease. Hey, guess what's coming? You know. Well, here's the thing. If I'm her, I take full advantage of this. You're going to get a preview. You're going to get the sample. Obviously, they're not going to make you pay.
Yeah, free sample.
It's free sample.
Absolutely.
You're doing it. You're
going for it.
It's a, you know, you scratch mine, I'll scratch yours.
Chi-Wei Hu is the new pitcher. And the first pitch is a ball, 1-0. And Duhart, Torres, and then Romine. High pop fly toward left center field. And Malik Smith is there to make the catch. One gone in the 7th. Torres. He singled to open the 4th inning and scored. Who worked 2 innings, 2 scoreless innings in the game here Tuesday. Two-strike count. Ball, 2 strikes. Tapper foul. All 3 of the prior pitchers have been touched for runs for the Rays. Ground ball to third, scoop by Wendell. The throw to first. 2 up, 2 down here in the 7th inning. Time to look back on a Geico great moment. It was on this day in 2012 with Fernando Rodney earning his 46th save of the season, establishing a club record previously held by Rafael Soriano. Here's Romine. The pitch is a strike. Romine's single homer run in the 4th inning, and then had that pitch sailed behind him in the 6th inning before he struck out swinging. And that pitch precipitated Jesus Sucre being hit by a pitch from Sabathia to open the bottom of the 6th. This one is fouled back off the mask of Sucre. Well, apparently CC Sabathia really believed in the moment.
He did. He did. He had an incentive, Dwayne, for 155 innings. We had 148 coming in.
Yes.
So 153 complete. Needed to get 2 more innings for a pretty sizable incentive, and really ended up choosing to eject himself because the warnings were out there, and he knew if he did what he planned on doing that he would not get that opportunity. And he said, for the team, I'm going to forego the opportunity to get the incentive.
There's a man who believes in his convictions and lives them.
If I told you what the incentive was, you would be impressed by the belief that he had in the moment. Wow. Yeah.
Significant.
Yes, extremely.
Well, there you go. Well, you wonder how.
Here's the thing. He may not have even known that incentive was even there. These deals were signed, you know, and forget about that stuff.
And Romine out on strikes here in the 7th inning. A 1-2-3 inning for who? Bottom of the 7th coming. 11-0 New York. By Simply Healthcare. Live the Simply life. By Steak and Shake, famous for steak burgers. And by your local Honda dealer. Yeah, we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Ronald Torreyes takes over at third base. And Tyler Wade in the ball game in right. They also have a new first baseman. Greg Bird takes over at first. C.J. Cron leads it off here in the 7th. Sends a fly ball deep to center. Gardner's going to go to the wall, and it's gone. C.J. Cron with home run number 29 on the year to put the Rays on the board. Well, that leaves him just one short of 30 with the weekend left.
Four-seam fastball up and away, and CJ goes and gets it. Straightaway center. Kind of juice that he has.
Brandon Lau takes a strike. One. Rays have Hunter Wood up in the bullpen. It's 2-2. And a swing and a miss on the fastball from Luis Cesar. Third strikeout for the New York right-hander. Thursday nights are about to get a lot bigger as Fox becomes the new network home for Thursday night football. Tonight at 7:30, it's the Vikings and the Rams in a battle of NFC heavyweights on Fox. Also live on NFL Network and streaming on Prime Video. Now it's a game. Adames takes a strike. Two. Adames sends it into center field, and Gardner is back to grab it for the second out. Jake Bowers. Bowers 0 for 1. He was hit by a pitch in the 5th inning. Hit on the hand. Now a strike. One. Puts him down a ball, 2 strikes. Rays over the weekend will have Toronto in. Tyler Glasnow pitches tomorrow night and Blake Snell on Saturday. And there's strike 3 call. So the Rays pick up a run on the C.J. Cron home run. We go to the 8th, 11-1. One scoreless inning for Who, and now Wood in this game to open the 8th. As Wood enters the game, Andrew Velasquez enters at third base.
It's going to be interesting when you start to think about this Rays club and Velasquez and Hunter Wood and how all of these guys are going to fit onto this team or as a part of this organization moving forward. What's the winter going to look like with this team?
You know, it's going to be interesting. There's a good chance the Rays will have a challenge protecting everybody that they might need to protect on the 40-man roster. That's going to be a challenge. You know, when you get that's a challenge of abundance. So we'll see how they handle that.
Yeah, and you know, that's a, I guess you could say that's a good problem to have. You've been able to build up enough depth that you're actually going to lose some of it, you know, because of what you've been able to do down below. But
yeah, and those are always really interesting decisions to make because part of it's, a big part of it's projection.
How many years you get those guys that are now eligible, who could maybe fly under the radar, who's a target. I mean, it's more meetings.
There's a strike, 3-1. And we wish them very well in those meetings.
Yes.
We do. From the bottoms of our hearts, we are earnest in sending our best wishes in that direction.
Well, the one thing that you know, and we saw this during the trade deadline, was some of these trades that were made, you know, even the under the radar trade, constant communication. These guys do not take a day off.
That's right.
They are unearthing anything they can, looking under any stone, have their homework done on rival organizations.
Well, Wood strikes out Echeverria. You're right about that. If they were burning midnight oil, it would be in low supply right now.
Yeah.
Because, boy, they do. They spend a lot of time evaluating and trying to make the moves to make this team better.
Yeah, well, they realize they've got to be creative. They've got to be, you know, very good. And pay attention to detail. The guys that they brought in, I love the fact that when you start to look around at the guys they've brought in, whether it's at the major league level, into the minor leagues, restocking the system, a lot of really good high character guys. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I think that helps and that makes a difference.
One and one to count to Brett Gardner.
Daniel Robertson. Be nice to have him back full time.
Yep.
Forget how much he had contributed to this team before going down with the season-ending injury, and how frustrating that obviously was for him and also for Kevin Cash. Gave him even more versatility out there in the field.
Yeah, he got an opportunity, was prepared for it, took advantage of it.
Overhauled his swing. That cannot be easy to do. You got muscle memory for years, and really did a nice job of overhauling his swing. It was short, it was compact, he was getting the ball in the air more so than he had been previously, and his strike zone discipline was impressive. Taking walks.
Well, the count's full on Gardner. Gardner draws the walk. On the heels of the strikeout. And Greg Bird will get his first plate appearance. Pitch foul back. One and one. It's a 2-ball, 1-strike count. The other way, Pham is there to make the catch. And that's the second out here in the 8th.
Well, our Coors Light refreshing finish, and it was the Yankee home runs, and it got started early. Miguel Andujar in the first inning, a 3-run shot right down the line to give the Yankees at that point a 4-0 lead, and then Voit with a bullet out there into left center field. And following that up, Carlos Stanton, and he drops that one deep into right center. They continue to inch up. Franchise record home runs already coming in. They continue to add to that total.
1-0 the count on Ronald Torreyes, hitting in the spot originally occupied by Voit. Voit had a walk, single, double, and home run in this game. It's 1-1 on Torreyes. A piece of that one foul. New York heads to Boston to wrap up the regular season. The Rays will be home against Toronto. One and two. balls, 2 strikes. Gardner walked. He's over at first. Fly ball to left, and Pham back a couple steps. Bottom of the 8th inning. Coming up, 11-1 New York. Yankees taking control of this game early with a 4-run first, 3 in the 4th inning, and then 4 in the 6th. It's 11-1 as Carlos Gomez leads off the bottom of the 8th. The Rays got their run on a home run by C.J. Cron in the 7th inning, and so it's Gomez here against Sessa. Pitch is upstairs. Sucre will be next, and then Malik Smith. A line drive, and it's caught. Echeverria climbing the ladder, staying up there to make the catch, and what a grab by Echeverria to rob Gomez of a base hit.
Well, we've seen him do this so many times in a Rays uniform. I hate to see him victimize your team, but Gomez thinking he's got a base hit, and how about that? The backhand too. I mean, just wouldn't come down right at the peak of the jump. That is an outstanding play by Echeverria.
Well, here's Sucre. He takes a pitch for a strike. It's upstairs now, 1-1. Sessa came on after the ejection of Sabathia. Faced 3 men in the 6th, gave up the home run to Cron in the 7th. Then got the next 3, a couple on strikes. Sucre pops it up, a foul ball. It's out of play. Toby Milner up in the bullpen for the Rays. And Schultz, who lasted only 2/3 of an inning. They've utilized 5 pitchers. Two to Sucre. Sucre is out on strikes. That's 5 strikeouts for Sesa. Bases empty with 2 gone, and back around to the top side of the order, Malik Smith. 0 for 3 right now, and 1 for his last 20. His average at .291. The ball, no strikes. It's a fastball outside. 2 balls, no strikes. One on Malik's. Tommy Pham is on deck. He came into this game with that 28-game streak of reaching base safely. 2-2. Pham also with a 10-game hitting streak right now. Alex takes ball 3. The count is full. Rays and the Yankees came into this game 9-9 in the season series. And a tapper left side glove by Torres, throw to first in time. 3 up, 3 down, and we're going to head into the 9th in this 11-1 ball game. The Colorado Rockies up 1-0. Trevor Story connecting a shot to center field, connecting off Jake Arrieta, and the Rockies have an early lead on the Phillies, 2-0 there. See the Rockies up by a half in the West over the Dodgers. Going right down to the wire. Dodgers trying to stay alive in the wild card with the Cardinals now that full game back. Rockies and the Phils. Obi Milner is going to be the new pitcher here for the Rays, with Stanton leading off for New York. Pitch is outside an inning for Wood. Picked up a strikeout, gave up a walk. It's foul back. Close, but ball 2, 2-1. Jonathan Loaizaga busy in the bullpen for New York.
We saw him earlier in the season, pretty impressed with his arm.
Yep. Long one back into right center field, and that ball's going to carry out of here. Stanton with another home run, this one to right center. His 37th home run of the year. And the 4th home run of the day for New York. They're up to 260 as a team.
Boy, the changeup by Milner down and away, but you know, you think about the swings of Stanton and Judge, and they have that kind of power to just swat balls out to right field, right center.
Tyler Wade up here making his first plate appearance. So 2 home runs on the day for Stanton, 2 walks, a strikeout, and 2 home runs. One and one. Ball 2 strikes. And strike 3 call. So Wade out of there on strikes. A reminder, hockey fans, less than a week away from the start of the NHL season. Preseason action coming your way tonight. So be sure to keep it right here on Fox Sports Sun. Tampa Bay Lightning square off against the Florida Panthers at the Amway Center in Orlando. Coverage beginning at 7 p.m. on Fox Sports Sun. Well, a run home on the home run by Stanton. Wade called out on strikes. Kyle Higashioka hitting in the place of Andujar. One and one the count. So 4 runs off Schultz, 3 off Pruitt, 4 off Kittredge, and 1 off Milner. And Milner is behind 3-1 in the count. Stanton leading off the 9th with a home run. 32nd career multi-homer game for Giancarlo Stanton. A fly ball into right. Gomez under this one and makes the catch. 2 gone. Torres fouling it back. Torres singled and scored back in the 4th inning. Been out hit 13-2, trailed 12-1. One ball, 2 strikes. A little wide right there. So the foul ball, and the count remains 2-2. And we'll go all the way to 3-2. There's a cut and a miss to retire the side. Couple strikeouts in the inning, and the home run by Stanton. Bottom of the ninth coming. Is along to anchor the coverage of this Yankee offensive explosion. We'll hear from Kevin Cash and interviews from the clubhouse headed into the bottom of the ninth inning. Tommy Pham's going to lead it off. Jonathan Loaizaga, the new pitcher, their third of the day, making his 8th appearance.
Well, 29 strikeouts in 21 2/3 innings, just 2 home runs given up.
Well, Tommy Pham looking for his first hit. The pitch up and in. Pham has a 28-game on-base streak on the line here in the 9th inning. Takes ball 2, 2-0.
Well, you give yourself a nice count here to work with. Loaizaga just into the ball game. He does not want to start off with a walk, so go hone in and get that streak continuing.
Now 3-0.
You could do it one way or the other. You just rope one here on 3-0 or take your walk.
Strike, 3-1. Well, the Rays with just 2 hits. Wendell, before he left, had a hit in the 4th inning. Crone hit the home run to center in the 7th, accounting for the only run for the Rays today. And takes strike 2, so the count all the way out. And there's ball 4, so he draws the walk. And he reaches in his 29th consecutive game.
And one of the rare times that it has taken him this long to get onto base. We had talked the last few days about how early he gets a lot of his production done as far as continuing that streak, but this time he takes it to the bottom of the 9th, but he does get there.
First walk drawn by the Rays. 2 hit batters in this game by Sabathia. The last one got him ejected. And now the leadoff walk in the 9th. Andrew Velasquez. And he'll take a first pitch fastball at 96 for strike 1. Two quickly ahead here of Velasquez. C.J. Cron on deck. The home run he hit in the 7th is 29th of the year. Ball 2 strikes.
Well, he'll get a chance for 30 here this afternoon.
Two balls, 2 strikes. And Velasquez strikes out swinging. Fastball got him the 11th strikeout for New York pitching. And here is C.J. Cron. Cron 1 for 3 today. Home run he hit in the 7th inning. And there's a strike. It's the first pitch he saw in the 7th. Out to center field. Fouls that one back.
Yeah, that's a danger zone for an opposing pitcher. Well, he took a rip at that. You know, he'd love to get that out of the way. Sitting right there at 29. Everybody got something to shoot for here the last few games. Try to finish strong.
Upstairs, 1 and 2.
Well, he had 3 straight seasons with the Angels of 16 home runs in each, and knew that if he was going to stay healthy, that he would exceed that number with the playing time that he was going to get here with the Rays, and he has done more than that.
And a foul ball. Went after the fastball up.
That's even with his playing time being a little further diminished as the Rays came down the stretch. You know, Jake Bauers is getting most of the time down there at first, and Ji-Man Choi getting a lot of the DH opportunities.
And a foul the other way. Yeah, it'd be a nice way to finish the season for him with his 30th home run. And a cut and a miss. Out number 2, second strikeout for Loaisiga here in the 9th inning. strikeout pitch.
And the breaking ball, and it kind of hung middle in, and you see CJ get just a hair long there, and it dips underneath.
Brandon Lau looking for his first hit of the day. 2 outs in the 9th, and the pitch is a strike. One and one. Well, the Rays will play host to the Blue Jays tomorrow night. Here's Saturday. Blake Snell will be after his 22nd win of the season. Now 2 and 1. There's Blake along with Kyle Snyder, Rays pitching coach. This one skied to the left side. Stanton coming in, and he makes the catch. This one is all over. The Rays leave a man in the 9th. Drop this one 12-1. Brian Anderson, Dwayne Stats. Hope you've enjoyed the telecast. If not, the outcome. Rays Live, the postgame comes your way next. We will see you tomorrow night with Toronto in town.